Hey everybody, what's up? Review Man here, and today, or tonight, I just got done watching the latest episode of the 21st, the first episode of the 21st season of South Park, called White People Renovating Houses. This tackles a few different subjects. Cartman trying to figure out his relationship with Heidi, because if you remember in the last season, Heidi was his girlfriend that killed herself off of Twitter because of an internet troll that was Kyle's dad, and they were still together at the end of the last season. No mention of the member berries in this one, but this one is about, it takes a spin on a few different things. It takes a spin on Alexa, the robot that said, "Hey Alexa, add this to my shopping list." Okay, I'm adding this to your shopping list. They've played around with that joke a little bit. They've also played around with men being in abusive relationships and standing up against women and standing up against women. But the biggest part of this story is it is like one of those renovating shows, like, we're going to tear down this wall, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And pretty much the rednecks in the towns that you took our jobs, those people, they were getting ticked off because the computers and everything was taking their jobs and all that. And then what they did is they got all pissed, they got all ticked off because every time Randy tried to renovate a house, all the rednecks in town, they were like, "You took our jobs, we're not going to let you take our jobs, computer and Google and Amazon, we're not going to let you take our jobs." And then they said, and then Randy and all the other people in town, get rid of the Alexa and put all the rednecks to work as Alexa. One of the most funniest. This is topping the bar because this also deals with guys, white men in society trying to fit in. And Randy, he's usually not the voice of reason in South Park, but in the first episode of this season, he's actually being the voice of reason, and he's telling all the rednecks that they need to move on. People with educations and all this, people that are truck drivers and all this other stuff are not the way of the future. You need to have an education. That got the guy all riled up. And Daryl, the main guy, the redneck with the red hair, that got him all riled up. And he said, "I'm not gonna let you take my job. All these computers and all this took my job." And then Randy goes over to his house because after they made Alexa's disappear, Randy goes over to his house and he says, how do you put this? He says, Daryl, we need you. All the other people, Daryl, we need you. All the other people in town, they got jobs. This is your job." And he's like, "You don't understand. I'm jealous because all these other people got them knocked them holes in the wall and put more expansion into this house, but I can't do it because this is my load bearing wall, and if I knock that out, it'll all fall down." And then Randy was like, "Well, why don't we just jack it up? And we'll put some arch supports and then we'll expand the room." And then they go ahead and start doing that. And this episode also deals with Cartman falling in love with Alexa and falling out of love with Heidi. And what he does is he's walking and he goes over to Heidi's house. He says, "Heidi, you're right, I'm wrong. Everything you said, you were right, I was wrong." And he's like, "Have a nice life, Heidi. I'll see you at school tomorrow." "Okay, whatever, bye." And he's walking down the road. He's like hearing Heidi's voice in his head, but it's his voice talking like Heidi. You're mean, Cartman. You're mean." And nagging. And then he's walking down the road. He goes past this place. He sees he sees this tunnel. He sees this path down here. He's like, Alexa, and that's where they threw away all the Alexas at in the trash. And what he does is he goes home and he starts playing with all the Alexas. But while he's playing with the Alexas and the Google Chromes and the Simon Says and all that other stuff, Heidi comes over and she says, you know what, Mrs. Cartman, just tell him I understand and all this other stuff and love and all this other stuff about love and this, that, and the third thing. And she said, okay, I think I can remember that. And then the next thing we see is Randy. He's renovating the rednecks' houses. And they said, okay, you ready to see your house? You ready to see your house? And then they said, yeah, we're ready to see it. And what they do is they take off the blindfolds like all and all the other renovation shows, and they expand the house and making it more spacious and all this other stuff. And then in the end, Cartman, and everything ends up quite nicely for the rednecks. And Cartman, his character, his like true character of self-love and hating everybody else and all this other stuff, ends up breaking up with Heidi. Now this is his girlfriend that he's had since the last season with the member berries, and they went to SpaceX. They were going to go to Mars and all this other stuff, but then that ended up blowing up in the last season. If you want to see my review of the last season, they're somewhere on my channel. They're there somewhere, but this is continuing my review. And then he ends up breaking up with Heidi, and then he the episode just ends with him hugging himself and wrapping up with the redneck's house being renovated and everything wrapping up quite nicely. But so you thought. We'll see what happens next time on the second episode of season 21. Can't believe there's been 21 seasons. That's almost as old as me. But we'll see what happens on the next episode. I'm not sure what the next episode is called, but you'll just have to wait till next time and find out. I am the Review Man. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. All that good YouTube stuff. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.